Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Yonks. This is now our third working group for Hero X, the American-made challenge. And let me bring open our video thumbnail and start sharing my screen here so that you all can see it, so that you know what I'm talking about. So very excited. We've got a lot of agenda for today. And I'm going to share the YouTube link with everybody in Zoom. All right, and now my screen share. And is my screen share coming in for everybody?
Yeah, we got it.
Awesome. And just to briefly cap, we've got, with myself, we've got Tyler, Sam, and Amy are with us today. So welcome, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're coming from. So I'm going to hop right into our agenda. And let me make this a little bit bigger here so that it shows up on the screen better. All right, so going through all of the agenda, like I said, that we've got a lot of stuff. So one of the things that I wanted to start off with, we have a we biddle in public ethos. And this is one of the things, this format just amplifies that. We're Zooming, or we're participating via Zoom, and we're live streaming this to all of the channels. So one of the things here is getting registered for our team. And this is one of the things, let me actually see if I've got this on the link here real quick. I think we're at Linktree, Quad Co-op. I think I updated it. So this is one of the things too that I updated here. And this isn't like a branding set in stone, but was wanting to definitely enhance the look and feel for what we're building here. So the link that I was talking about is, this is our official team link. Let me make this a little bit bigger, and I'm actually going to share this on YouTube as well. And I haven't updated any of the branding yet. And this is one of the things that's a talking point for today. But this image right here is an image that we can replace to like a banner image. So I'm not sure what the formats are, if that's something that Amy or Tyler, if you wanted to find out, so that we could kind of create a bounty in DWork for a banner image that really captures Quad Co-op. One of the other things too, so let me actually, before I get off track, I'm going to share this link here real quick on YouTube. And the reason that I shared, just so that the people on YouTube are aware, or not on YouTube, the people that are on our Zoom here, we love the social that Google provides. So I'm actually logged in here to my Google account, and I'm going to actually give this a thumbs up. So please give us a thumbs up here on the YouTube link. Try to pop in on some chat. So right now, this is our official Quad Co-op Hero X team page for this 2023 Q3 project. So like I said, we are accepting new teammates. We are still accepting new team contributors. So accepting team contributors. So one of the things that I did to make it a little bit easier, and this is one of the things that is going to be continually a work in progress, is to improve onboarding. Like right now, we're talking about onboarding people to our Quad Co-op Hero X team. So creating some workflows. So I actually created an onboarding link so that somebody can grab a one-on-one for a quick introduction, kind of like an onboarding conversation. And let me open this in another tab. So Calendly is a more popular and utilized, at least from our perspective here in the US, tool for scheduling calendars or for allowing people to independently book time. And this is actually my cal.com. One of the reasons that I like cal.com over Calendly is that they seem to be more adoptive for and embracing Web3. So it'll be interesting to see how that we use this for doing team stuff in what we're building here. Web3 Freedom Club is a DAO registered that we formed on literally just about a month ago, a little over a month ago on July the 7th. And we're absolutely here during this working group going to be laying DAO foundation for not only Web3 Freedom Club, but really building what we are anticipating to become an increasingly decentralized model. So anyway, looking forward to building. We love building in a decentralized manner, and that's one of the things we use. A lot of different tools, just talking about cal.com here. So this is a tool that, again, just one of the tools in the portfolio of tools that we're using. So going on down the list, this has actually already been effective because one of the people that connected with actually via LinkedIn is interested in participating in our team, and he actually grabbed a time coming up here. So one of the things we love POAPs, and POAP is an acronym for Proof of Attendance Protocol. So this is a simple NFT that we create. And just to go back to the video thumbnail, this image here on the left side of our video thumbnail is our POAP that the participants of today's working group will receive. And it's just, again, a fun way of using blockchain technology to keep track of who was on. And just to let you know, we also keep track, and this is something that Tyler has done for us very well, because we do provide a proof of contribution and a proof of participation for being in our working groups. And we'll talk more about that as our working group conversations continue to unfold here. So, and I just wanted to welcome Double D to our working group. Welcome, good afternoon, good evening, Double D, wherever you're coming from. So I see him giving an applause emoji. So Google Calendar, this is one of the things that I am getting better at. As I mentioned during our LinkedIn group chat, this will be an interim solution. We're really wanting to build event functionality into our WordPress homepage at web3freedom.club. And right now, web3freedom.club redirects to also a link tree, just like quad.coop redirects to a link tree page. And this is one of the things that we're going to work on creating and building here over the coming months. Now, how much time that we'll actually spend on building or deploying WordPress fundamental value to the Hero X project, and this is something that I'm toying with, but we also have an opportunity, as you can see, just looking at the Web3 Freedom Club. There's no branding elements in place here. We're going to talk about branding throughout our conversation today, but as you can see, this has a little bit more of a branding look and feel to it than this does. I added some just simple color elements, uploaded the quad co-op, and this is an interim logo. We're actually here later today on our working group. We're actually going to create a bounty and a task for allowing some other people to submit this, because I don't want this just to be all of my efforts. So does anybody want to chime in here as far as some initial stuff, whether it's about the Hero X team, some of the branding look and feel. I do want to bounce back here real quick to our official team page. I don't think Double D was on here at the time. And since you're on here, Double D, this is absolutely an opportunity, and we'll probably create a specific task for the creation of this banner. This is actually a banner that we can update along with the logo here. I just used a POAP from one of our previous working groups. But these are some branding elements that we can update. And this is also an action item for you as well, Double D, for you to go through and officially join our team here, because it's only the people that are on the team, and there's actually a process, and that's one of the things that spoke a little bit earlier about is getting a better onboarding process for contributors or potential contributors to our team. So let me actually go to our Google Calendar. This is another one of the windows that so this is, like I said, an interim solution. And let me make this a little bit bigger here. And I think that I can make that go away. So right now, we've got this time slot, and I don't know if this time slot works well for everybody. This is one of the things that it seemed to work well last week, at least for Tyler and myself. And since Brooke is asleep, and we'll see if she sleeps through most of the nap here today for an afternoon nap. So one of the other things, and this is actually next week's schedule. So one of the things that we did here this last week, and I don't even have it on here because I hadn't even started using Google Calendar yet, was we hosted our first office hours. And the idea with our office hours is to really bridge some of the gaps between what we do here on the working group, and then also just to provide some additional framework where we can biddle in public and allow it for more like if people want to ask some questions, and then like if it's around a specific tool or whatever, then it's more of a not as much of a formalized agenda that we have here for our working group. So that's some ideas around that. And one of the things that I'm actually wanting to do, and this is just in line with what we do here during our working groups, is I'm actually going to go through and create the process, or just create this let us meet right now, so that we can see when the best time to do this office hours, because this is something that we're really wanting to use as, like I said, an event bridge between our working group like here, and then just another platform for getting stuff done in a decentralized manner. So let me go ahead and open up a let us meet, and my computer's starting to slow down because I've got too many windows open, and that's something that I may have to ask Tyler to get a computer with more memory. So let's see, let us meet. So here's one. This is the first one that we created for our first working group. So I'm actually going to just open up a different tab. I think I did a, let me see here. So here's the one that I did for our previous one. So I'm just going to copy some of this stuff. So copy and paste, and we're going to do this for a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week. Let's meet, and this is going to be office hours number 2, and our second office hours. And I'm going to open this just in another tab too, because this is an opportunity. I don't think this is something that we're really using that much yet, but this is another opportunity. I absolutely love and am loving high-low as far as just simplifying stuff. So this is the project page. But anyway, let me finish up this let us meet. We'll come back to the high-low. So let's see. And I'm going to put a 10 a.m. to a we're going to go 4 because we really want this to be during more of a normal office hours. 1 hour. Create. Okay, so here's the link. I'm going to share this in the Zoom chat as well as on the YouTube chat. Link for let us meet OH number 2. office hours. So there's that link, and here it is on the YouTube if anybody wants to join, because again, we're wanting this to be open for people to participate and contribute. Like a lot of the stuff that we're doing with blockchain is confusing to people, and the more that we hold people's hands and show people that it's really not that complicated, that easier will be for everybody. So there's the Let Us Meet. I'm going to add my own availability after this, and I'm going to add this to our Notion page real quick here for our, let's see. Create bookmark. So there it's on the Notion page. So I'm going to go ahead and close these windows out here. Again, here's the high-low page. I'm going to throw this in the chat too on Zoom. Because while I'm talking, this might be, please join our high-low community. So this is, again, a Discord alternative. I'm not going to talk about my disdain for Discord, except for that right there. But we're really wanting to have a more like a decentralized dynamic, and high-low, I'm not going to pretend is decentralized. We're going to also explore, it probably won't really be until 2024 till we really start to get exploring decentralized social, but that's another conversation. So there's our, and let me throw this in the YouTube as well. Please join our high-low community. Here is the link to our project page. Okay, so closing that out. So join the, that's the old Let Us Meet. And there's our calendar. So this is, again, one of the things that we're wanting to do. Oh, let me throw that on there too. On this Google Calendar. Location. Save. And this is something that we'll get a link to, the Google Calendar, so that you all can add this easily. Like I said, this is something as a fan of the Google tools and the Google ecosystem. I know that we're all on Gmail here. I know that because I sent out the calendar invite, and they have some great tools, and Calendar is one of them. And again, this is more of an interim solution until we get our own calendar events deployed on our website. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out, go back to our agenda. Before I move on, does anybody have any thoughts as far as what I've gone through so far? Thoughts, comments? So I will take silence as a no. So let's see. Just got done talking about this. Create the agenda page for meeting with Utopia Labs. So Utopia Labs is one of the tools that we spoke about on our office hours. For people that aren't familiar, feel free to watch the office hours replay that we held earlier this week. Utopia Labs is a payment processing Web3 solution, and they really made international news with their capabilities with USDC. Now, also another very large traditional finance player, PayPal, made international news with their stablecoin announcement, PYUSD. And right now, from what I've seen, USDC has more things, and we're doing most of our building on Polygon. Not going to go into all the details why, but let's go ahead. I'm going to just go and check this out, do this right here. So I'm actually going to bring in my actual Notion into the screen here, because the more that I show everybody, and this is we're looking at a specific page, which is our page for today's meeting, and this is the database of our agenda and meeting notes. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for everybody on the live stream. So we're actually going to do a new, and I don't think I've got a good team meeting format here. I'm gonna just use this, and this is one of the things that I'll probably make another template for that. But let's this is one that I've already got some stuff surrounding. So we're gonna call this the Quad Co-op. We're gonna call this team conversation with team Utopia Labs demo tool plus team opportunity. And participating in this is completely optional. If you don't have any interest of being involved with like Web3 payment processing, this is kind of like a choose your own adventure. This is a critical tool because we're talking about the flow, the handling of money within these micro cooperatives. And one of the reasons that we want to get great at exploring and adopting this technology now is we really believe that this is the way that we're going to most effectively scale. So Utopia Labs, and I think that there's related tools. So this is where Utopia Labs, and this is one of the fun things that I love about Notion is the ability to have relational databases. So this is, we're looking at a database here of our agenda and meeting notes. And this is one of the things like Let Us Meet. We're not going to actually do a Let Us Meet. We're actually going to go through and figure out the time. This was something that I looked at during our office hours, and then I decided that it would be easiest just to schedule the demo here during our working group. So let me actually open up a window where I'm going to go to Utopia Labs. I'm going to do this on my own profile, not on that one. So let's see, Utopia Labs. So, and this is their tagline: trusted by leading DAOs and crypto companies to streamline operations, manage payroll, and consolidate financial reporting, which we're wanting to be a leading DAO. So let's go ahead and book your demo. So let's do this right now, schedule demo. So the time zone that I'm looking at right now is Mountain Time. So we will communicate as much as possible in Eastern Time, because anyway, I had a little bit of conversation offline about that. So looking here, and this is something that everybody's going to have to help me out kind of real time, but I'm going to just click on Monday or Tuesday. Today's the 12th. So this is something that is a pretty, in my opinion, a really high priority, because we have some very specific use cases. And the sooner that we can find the right Web3 accounting solution, the more that we can just cross that off the list as far as a decision that needs to be made. And this is absolutely in the decision that needs to be made category. We've been talking about Utopia Labs. They've been on the radar for quite a while. So anyway, so this is the times that are available on Monday. So this is 2 Mountain, 1:30 Mountain, so that would be 3:30 Eastern Time, which would be, and it's a similar time that we're talking in right now, because right now it is 1:30 Mountain Time, 1:37 Mountain Time. So seeing what we see here, what time, and this is one of the things, please have a Gnosis Safe account ready and be prepared to share your screen for our interactive demo. So this is one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. So the question right now, do we want to look at Monday or Tuesday?
Monday is good for me.
And these times, Amy, thank you for chiming in here. Are any of these, will any of these times, and I would rather it be in this time slot because this seems to work good for Brooke's schedule. So I'm good with 1:30 or 2. And let me actually open up my own calendar here. Are you looking at your calendar right now, Tyler? Because this is one that you have to be on.
Yeah, I'm available anytime 10 a.m. or later. So afternoon's fine or whatever.
Okay, so this is anybody else's last chance to chime in. I'm going to just grab the 1:30 time slot here after I get confirmation that I'm available on that as well. So that's Monday, and my calendar is also open. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this 1:30 time slot, and this is something that we'll just get on the calendar, and I'm going to move all of these details off of the live stream. So this is please have a Gnosis safe, and we might actually go through today and create the Gnosis safe for the specific one that we're wanting to do, because like one of the immediate opportunities that we have is to have a Gnosis safe for Tesla House Co-op. And when you think about the 4 co-ops in that, and we'll talk more about that here in a minute. This is the only one that we have operationalized. We're wanting to actually seek via DeFi protocol, DeFi lending protocols to capitalize the 3 of the 4 quadrants that we don't have online yet here for our proof of concept in North Glen. So anyway, I'm gonna fill this out and get that scheduled. I need to do that so that the time slot doesn't. But do either you, Tyler or Amy, remember anything from our prior Utopia Labs conversation? I will take the silence as a no. So it's been quite a while. I think it was well over a year ago, and potentially a year and a half ago, that we last had the conversation. And like I said, they made international news with their USDC, whatever functionality that they had there. And let's see, I guess. Let's see. I'm just filling in this form real quick here to get this Calendly. And this was another example of Calendly. And as I mentioned, I'm personally and Tyler uses Calendly, and I use cal.com. And so far I'm really liking cal.com. And we were playing around a little bit when we were doing different types of team stuff with Retoken DAO. Capabilities from a team standpoint. That's really where cal.com monetizes their platform, is with through the team aspects, because I think the service that I'm using currently I'm not paying for. So organization name Web3 Freedom Club DAO. So I'm going to bring this back on screen here real quick so that you all can see this. Because so what pain point are you most interested in solving? So I don't know if this is a 1, if we only select 1. So I'm going to select doing my bookkeeping. Is that good for you, Tyler? Because you do most of our bookkeeping right now.
I'm all in favor of getting rid of my job as our family and business bookkeeper. That would be lovely.
Okay. So what wallet do you use for your crypto organization? And this isn't a radio button, this is a multi-select. So this is some, and I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this here, because this is one of the things that I just love having some workflow and seeing what that looks like. And I might come back and go through this process again so that I'm not taking time on the live stream. But before I click submit, I'm not going to deviate from this page. So what wallets do you use for your crypto organization? Safe. And that's currently the only one. This is one of the things that I'm wanting to get some better practices around, and we'll likely start using a ledger ourselves for doing crypto key management, but that's another conversation. And I'll always I'm going to go on a slight tangent because I always love talking about best practices, and Safe, formerly known as Safe, is trusted with literally billions of assets are trusted with the Safe, and they have a solid reputation as far as being the best Ethereum based multi-sig safe. So and anyway, so I'm going to just continue down this. This call's purposes is not related to partnerships, API development, or embedded fintech opportunities. If you're interested in partnering with us, please email info@Utopia Labs. Please acknowledge that you're here for a demo for, that's kind of funny that they added that. How did you come across Utopia? I'm going to check several of these. I'm going to also do other, we had a demo over a year ago at 3Token DAO. Any notes or questions we should be aware of? I'm going to add my SMS on here, so I'm going to take this back off screen. Any notes or questions we should be aware of? Does anybody want to chime in on any notes or questions? But I'm going to bring this back here real quick. We are extremely interested in how we can potentially pay bills ACH via USDC Polygon. And this is one of the things that we're wanting to get some experience with. Right now, we do not yet pay bills surrounding the main operational aspect, Tesla House Co-op in North Glen. And this is one of the things that we're really wanting to embrace, because think about, like, fast forward 5 years, imagine us having hundreds of micro cooperatives. And like, when you think about maybe $10 or $15 a month, it's not that much for one organization. But imagine having potential, and when I'm talking $10 or $15 a month, I'm talking like what a normal, like, QuickBooks or Xero, Xero, I think it's pronounced Xero. Those are the two predominant small, medium-sized business accounting and bookkeeping tools. So $10, $15 a month, not that bad. 10 or 15 times 100 or 1,000, it becomes like super, super expensive. I'll let you all do the math on that, but that's really the goal here, is to provide a blockchain-based accounting solution, because the ability for us to create reporting, and that's one of the things that we'll talk about too, grid.is. But anyway, I'm going to get this done.
Hey,
go ahead.
Jason.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Amy.
I might ask White Hat DAO. We use a different kind of software or an app for our accounting over there, and they don't charge any fees at all. I don't know.
I believe it's Parcel, and that's one of the things that we've looked at. I think it's and if they're using something else, but I believe it's Parcel.
Yeah. And he said that he had a relationship with them, so I don't know. It was just
I was on their demo before they started using as one of the OGs there at White Hat myself. So I remember that, and I think that they're still using. I think the main value proposition with Utopia is whatever functionality that they've got in place with USDC to send it to bank accounts, I think is the thing. Because I think Parcel's great if you're operating 100% natively on the blockchain. But the challenge is like paying traditional types of bills, like paying the utility bill, the public utility bill, or paying the water bill, are all bills that we have to account for and do in Tesla House Co-op.
Okay, if that is the case, don't you think PayPal might work for us this time around? Just asking.
I don't know what PayPal, and I'm not taking PayPal off of the list, but I would rather use, because I wouldn't consider PayPal decentralized, even though that they are creating a stable coin. So I would rather, as much as possible, use decentralized tools and build as much as we can. And like here we've got Notion, like we're doing a lot of our knowledge base and these databases in Notion. I'm not going to pretend that Notion is a decentralized tool. It's absolutely not, and it's not a cheap tool. It's a tool that we are paying for through Triple Win Foundation, hundreds of dollars a year for the capability that we have today with Notion. So I did get the schedule. Let me get that added just to some good housekeeping here too, and I'll do that later. I'm wanting to let's see. So it should have went to you, Amy, and Tyler, and myself. I also added Web3 Freedom Club. If anybody wants to be added to that invite, send me a DM offline. My DMs are open on all the channels. Twitter's the best place to catch me, or LinkedIn. I'm increasingly spending more time on LinkedIn. So anyways, this is huge. I'm not gonna, so I would encourage everybody, and I'll see if I can find a good demo video, but this is, again, it's a demo. So come prepared with questions that you have. And this is one of the things that we will do some stuff to get better prepared for that. So let me actually go over here. So we've got the, not doing a let us meet, but this is scheduled for Monday, in date, in time. And it's 1:30 p.m. on Monday, the 14th. And just to provide some real quick, and I can't remember if it's a 15-minute demo or a 30-minute demo. I'm gonna put it 30 minutes here, and I can update that later. So this is one of the things too, like if we want to create POAPs, I know you'll have some POAPs, Amy, so if this is one that you want to create a POAP for, I would be quite okay with that. And this is just one of the things that, love having fun. And let me know offline if that's something that you want to do. But I want to go over here real quick, because I created this relation for Utopia Labs, and I want to bring open this tool here real quick. So let me make it actually a little bit bigger, and let me see. So history. Okay, so let me actually, so this is when, and there was something involved. I don't know if I did a good job. So let me actually create another toggle heading here for 2023. And we'll put on here a bullet for 14th August 2023, 1:30 p.m. Demo scheduled during WG number 3 for Hero X. Okay, so this is, again, just an easy way to use tools that we have. And what I wanted to show is our tools and services database. So I'm gonna change the view here. So this is actually a view that we've got for tools that we're looking at, and I created a priority, and like I said, talked a little bit about these, and might talk a little bit like DWork. We're going to go through and create a task on, but I was wanting to look at the change the view here for, and I might just do a different view here. We're going to call this purpose, and we're going to create a table. Done. And I'm going to group by purpose. So let's see. I've got quite a few purposes. Let me see how I grouped Utopia. So Web3 accounting and bookkeeping. So let's just do that purpose. And I think it's sorted these by name. Oh, is there a collapse all? Let me filter. Filter advanced filter purpose. Web3 accounting and bookkeeping. Save for everyone. I think it's struggling with this view here. And maybe it's the wrong, instead of the table layout list. Anyway, I'll come back to this. Let's see. Let's come back to this later because it's wasting time right now. So, okay, so let's talk about the Quad Co-op logo. So this is the logo that I put together, and this was just to get some ideas that I had, because the biggest opportunity and need that we have around what we're building is making it more simple. So like the ability to use some emojis here, like this is a taxi emoji. And while we're technically not taxi as an Uber or Lyft driver, gig workers are the niche that we are targeting here. And I need to make sure too, because it looks like lost Tyler. And I'm the only one that can readmit her if she joins. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. So this is something that I created just to kind of, as simple as possible, visualize the 4 quadrants that we're talking about here. And then I am increasingly liking this hashtag Quad Co-op. And this is Tesla Car Co-op, Tesla House Co-op. This is the solar EV, which is like a lightning bolt or a zap. And this is a coin emoji. And these are emojis that are standard in at least the app. These are what it looks like from the Apple keyboard, and because I created this on my Mac. So it might look slightly different on different emojis on different platforms. And this isn't something that is set in stone. Like, we're going to be evolving the branding, and like that's one of the main things that we need to get great at is simplifying. Because when we're talking about 4 micro cooperatives and managing these cooperatives in a decentralized manner, that can be kind of a lot for people to get their heads wrapped around. And I think it'll be simpler. It'll be harder to get the stuff all in place, but once we do, I think it'll work well nicely. So this was a tweet that I sent out as well. And this is one of the things that, again, wanting to simplify the narrative. And I'm going to just open this up in another tab on Twitter or X, whatever Elon is rebranding it to. So this is one of the things that, again, wanting to get more simple is the messaging. So this is, I'm actually planning to create a GoFundMe and potentially a Give ETH with this as the project thing that I'm wanting to get funded. I'm not going to unpack that right now. This was the first of 2 tweets that I sent on this week's Twitter thread, and this is one of the things that I want to get better at myself. But there's a lot to unpack. This was a fairly well thought out tweet from my perspective. I love we biddle in public. I love that ethos. I don't know how many other people use this hashtag. And this is about like leading a team. So this tweet was to circulate this idea, this initial logo, but it's also to provide an invitation here. Like currently leading a team, we're on our working group right now. DM me if this Web3 refi model sounds interesting. Refi, regenerative finance, not going to unpack that right now. And this is another one. This might be my first time that I've used a hashtag P tokens. I've absolutely used tokenize the world a lot, but it's the first time that I've ever done that. And how important P token will be to what we're building here will become increasingly apparent and visible in the coming weeks. But anyway, the other tweet that I wanted, and this was actually 2 of them. This was the first one. Here was the second one. And let me open up this one here. Copy the link. So this was the other tweet. What is quad co-op? Solar EV for gig workers. I really like the simplicity of this statement, but how deep it is too, because I've been an Uber or Lyft driver for the last 7 years and done over 12,000 trips. And this is one of the things that I'm really going to work on and be intentional between now and our next working group is getting an initial video or an initial 90-second video. And this is just kind of breaking down, like what I wanted to do here is take these emojis and add a little bit of verbiage to this logo. So like the taxi is a Tesla EV plus 2 to 4 gig workers. And then the house with specifically the house with the garden. There's different emoji houses. I like the one with the tree in the background because it's the most visually appealing to me. So this is the cooperative house. STR is short-term rental. MTR is midterm rental. Not going to unpack that right now, but Airbnb and VRBO are the predominant short-term rental platforms or midterm rental platforms that people are aware of. So this is the solar plus the EV charging. ChargePoint is the likely hardware vendor that we'll use for that. And of course, Tesla on the solar side. And then the little coin is for Decent House, which is functionally Bitcoin mining. And we're really looking to use the WITS miner for the mining hardware that we're looking to deploy in this decentralized quad co-op model. So I just wanted to talk about that. So seeing these 2 tweets and this logo, how do you all feel that does simplifying this quad cooperative model that we're looking to build business processes and documentation surrounding during this project? And I see Tyler's back. Welcome back, Tyler.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to take care of something real quick. I like the design. I think it's fun and kind of easy to explain. Double D, I know you had some other ideas, and I thought you did a great job on that 1-page slick that you'd started. So if you've got some other ideas on the logo, open to that too. And I put this on the agenda for a little bit later on, but kind of talking through some of the branding stuff.
Yeah, I was actually just taking a look at that, Tyler. Is this what you're talking about, the design work?
Yeah, I know we've got a lot on the agenda, but if we can get to that, or we'll just push that to our working group. But yeah,
I actually bumped it up on the priority list, and I'd actually just prefer to go through and do D work right now. This is a side note, Tyler. Like for whatever reason, the certs that and these are, I think, obtained through Rose Hosting, the certs don't automatically renew. So this is the domain for retoken DAO. And as you can see, it's got a invalid cert date. And just so that everybody knows, Rose Hosting is who that we use for our VPS service. And we'll likely use them for an initial phase until we can bring somebody on that has experience with deploying WordPress in AWS. I don't have any personal experience with AWS, and that's not something I really want to tackle from a technical standpoint. And we haven't had a need to scale to an AWS type of environment and I don't know when the best time to transition. Anyway, that's another conversation for another day, but this is an opportunity to improve or to fix and the domain stuff regarding retoken and our transition to P-token DAO. And this is actually one of the things that I don't even know if we're going to get to here today. I think I'm going to want to prioritize it because really wanting to do some stuff to move P-token DAO forward as far as a foundational element with what we're building and stuff like that. But anyway, I wanted to get to DWork, and let me just go here. So DWork here is and this is one of the things that wanting to create another, and I can't remember if I mentioned that specifically yet, but I really want us to roll up our sleeves and get great with using Unlock Protocol. Unlock Protocol is the composable NFT membership of Web3 Freedom Club DAO, and it's going to be in a very important component in what we're building. And this is one of the things that I am excited to get better at using. Because one of the things that here's our DWork board. This is for Triple Win Foundation. Triple Win Foundation is a nonprofit foundation that Web3 Freedom Club rolls up to. Web3 Freedom Club is basically the for-profit umbrella within the larger nonprofit umbrella of Triple Win Foundation. And that's the easiest way to think about it. And that's one of the ways that I like to look at things, is kind of like containers or bubbles or whatever. And that'll become a little bit more clear when we start talking about quad co-op. So anyway, I need to do a little bit of cleanup on our board here for DWork, but we do have a board specifically for this project. And this is the link for our project. And this is one of the things that is linked in several different places. So I'm going to create the create an initial quad co-op logo round, and to do urgent and create. Open to applications, anyone can apply, advanced. So this is one of the things that is, I don't know what these advanced capabilities are, but this is one of the things Airtable, see right here, if you already manage applications somewhere else, example, Airtable or Google Forms, that's one of the things. Airtable is another tool that White Hat DAO uses. And there may be an opportunity for us to use Airtable. I don't know if I really want to complicate exploring that right now, because we'll probably curb that after Hero X project. And just to be clear, this is something that we're going to continue to work on, regardless of what happens with Hero X. We're planning to do a quad co-op security token offering. And right now, until we hear that it's unrealistic, we're really looking for January or February of 2024 to do our quad co-op security token offering, where we're looking to raise 4 buckets of up to 5 million via regulation crowdfunding. So we've got a lot of work to do, and we're really anticipating or hoping to get a lot of the collateral created during this Hero X project that will also be the same collateral that will be necessary for all of the red tape surrounding a regulation crowdfunding offering. And I think that having that, and we'll be talking more about the requirements, the mission requirements for this contest. And that's one of the things that I'll work on getting a little bit better stuff within Notion done to really capture our ongoing efforts for improving the collateral that we're planning on submitting for our official Hero X team submission. But anyway, this is me lifting up the hood here as far as creating a task. And to come back a little bit, this is one of the things that I'm wanting or hoping that our Hero X project token that we're going to actually create will provide some technical capabilities. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and save this task. And let me refresh. So right here is the create an initial quad co-op logo. So this is one that I'm going to be submitting, the one that I did myself. I'm open to seeing, and this is an open invitation. One of the things that I would really like to see later in the community evolution of Web3 Freedom Club is I'm a huge fan of doing logo design contests and making those logo design contests primarily submittable through the community that we're building. And I've had some ideas in the past surrounding like a logo design contest for NFT-based logo design contest, but that's something that we'll probably talk about in Q4. Because to me, that would be just a distraction because we don't need to do a logo design contest for Hero X. Like we have to focus on creating a very solid submission and checking all the boxes that are necessary for the collateral that they want to see and creating a form that we can submit on. So anyway, let me share this link here, copy task link. Here's the link. I'm going to share it on our YouTube link for logo bounty. And sharing this on the YouTube link for quad co-op logo bounty. And we're not going to let this run. We'll circle back on our next working group and review any other submissions and really make a decision until we get something until we get the decision made. I'm going to use the one that we've got because as you can see, this looks substantially better than looking at a W logo. And of course, the quad co-op doesn't really encapture what we're looking to do with Web3 Freedom Club, but I would really prefer to curb any branding thoughts and conversations until we have our Hero X project submitted, because I think that would just be not necessary. Any objections to that? I will take the silence as no objections. So we had a little bit of conversation. Do we need to talk any more on this right now? Because there's quite a bit of other stuff that I would like to get through here. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, the one pager that was created, the more that we can make a branding look and feel like, whether it's a Linktree page or our one pager or the logo, the more that we can incorporate elements, because the big thing with branding is consistency. So the more that you have a consistent look and feel across, whether somebody's looking at a Linktree or whether somebody's looking at your LinkedIn page or your Facebook profile page or an Instagram account or your Twitter account, the more that you can get a consistent look and feel, the easier that it will be. Because when things aren't consistent, it causes confusion. And when people have confusion in their brains, they just check out automatically. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we need to have the logo, the same logo on everything. We also need to have the same color palette on everything. And then this is more of a question for Double D and anybody else who wants to participate in that bounty is, do we want to, or do you have time to create something that's a little bit more expansive, maybe not a full-on brochure, but something that's a little bit more than a one pager, or do we just want to just put all that on a website somewhere?
No, my thoughts on that, Tyler, is that we need to make a master slide deck and be intentional about creating a pitch deck. And the pitch deck we can cater towards whatever audience that we're pitching that towards. I think that that's something that we can take that conversation offline. I think getting an initial logo and then getting our one pager, and then from there, then we can relay the branding consistency around like a master slide deck. And that's one of the things that, because I don't know how much that we're just going to be pitching quad co-op. Like really what we're going to be pitching is a gig worker that is renting a Tesla from Uber or Lyft, the model that we're creating that has equitable ownership dynamic through this Web3 cooperative, and then the opportunity to have the EV being powered from another solar EV cooperative. That's the kind of pitch that we're going to be, as far as like saying, hey, here's the value proposition for a potential gig worker. And one of the things that didn't make it onto the agenda that I want to talk about, and I'm probably just going to go off on a tangent. Before I go off on this tangent about the Web3 Freedom Quiz, does anybody want to talk any more about the branding where we're at right now, or is that good until our next working group? So I will say that that's good for the next working group. One of the things that I did want to bring up real quick here, and I'm going to do this in an incognito window, because this is very relevant to the logo conversation, or not just a logo conversation, but a look and a feel. So this is one of the things, the more that we can get at simplifying and for people to be able to see what this quad co-op. So this is what we will be looking at quite a bit here, because this is going to be the landing page, which is in our Notion database for the quad co-op flagship proof of concept, where we're currently seeking DeFi protocol partners. So DeFi protocol partners are people that will write us a check functionally for this business model. So this is again, and the idea with this, and you can see one of the reasons that this URL isn't something that you would really want to, like, you would never remember this URL, and it's a dynamic URL that gets updated. And I don't know how Notion does the stuff that they do on the back end, but they just work. And that's one of the things that we will be creating. So like the opportunity, instead of sharing this Notion URL here, where we could share like one.quad.coop, which is not a working URL, but when somebody types in one.quad.coop, it would go to this page. And we really want this to be like a model page where we can showcase what we're building. And this is like where this is where we're doing our live stream today. So I'm sitting in the basement doing our live stream. And this is, again, where we can use the tools that we have here. So this is me, my efforts of visually putting data together in a method that people can say, okay, quad co-op. So we've got, like in the quad co-op, we've got the car, we've got the house. So this is me just taking those same emojis here and making it where people can cue in visually on the emoji. And then we can have details for each SPV and the only one that's online right now, just to be clear, is THC 0001. And we haven't even really started to utilize, but I want to click on, and I don't even know if I put that much stuff on here. So this is where I was using some creative stuff, like, and let me actually just go to the P token IDs table. And this needs to be done, that needs to be updated. So side note to myself. So anyway, going back to the landing page, this is the one that I'm really wanting to create a good template. And I'm really liking where we're at here as far as just, and we've got a Google Maps, whether I want this Google Maps this big or not. This page was very easy to create in Notion. And this is the kind of thing that we could template and or automate. And that's going to be one of the goals. Like it might be manual initially, but the opportunity to, through technology, automate this, and whether it's a tool like Zapier or other types of tools that we create in-house, the more that we can simplify where this gets turnkey, where it's not somebody manually doing this stuff, the more that it can be done automatically at scale, right? So how is this something that people are really, how's everybody liking how this is looking right now?
Yeah, I like it. It's simplified.
Does it make sense to everybody? I mean, I think that's the first question is it clear?
It's good. I just think the logo, we just need to maybe work on it. So
Do your thing there. Do your thing there, Double D. I'm not gonna pretend to be a graphic designer. So
I mean,
I'm
your design is okay. Just making it fit the brand color. That's the green and white. If that's what we're going for.
Well, so one of the thoughts here too.
You said.
So what are the thoughts? And I think Brooke is waking up from her nap there, Tyler. So what are the thoughts as far as the emojis? And one of the reasons that I like the emojis is that it makes it easier to have visual identification. Because like without the emoji, like when we're looking here, the emoji that I'm seeing on my screen is the same as the emoji that somebody sees here. So the opportunity to just have that relay very easily. So that's one of the reasons that I'm a fan of an idea around using some emojis on the Quad Co-op logo, is the ability for us to take an emoji on the Quad Co-op logo and then be able to just have some text here. So like to continue on with the template thing, that's one of the things that I really want us to all think about, is that we're basically wanting to create templates, whether it's a template in Notion or it's a template for a smart contract template, or whatever the case may be. The opportunity to create templates, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to get better at myself. And like a smart contract template, like one of the opportunities with a smart contract template is creating a ERC 1404. That's ultimately the security token standard that we're wanting to utilize for the issuance of these tokens for these underlying SPVs. And let me take a look here, because the one that we're wanting to capitalize, and we're actually going to see if we can get all four of these capitalized together. And that's one of the reasons that we're really wanting to focus, because it would be great if we could get these in this initial Quad Co-op 1, the first proof of concept, capitalized. Because my expectation, especially with Decent House, is that it's really going to take 2 to 5 years to have some solid numbers, like especially surrounding Decent House. And it may even take as long surrounding this type of dynamic with the house and how that we're tokenizing this. The car is going to be a simpler dynamic, because we're basically looking to do a loan situation on 5-year debt terms, fairly simple. So looking here, that being said, this is the one I'm going to spend the most time at here this next week, is creating some stuff surrounding this, getting this car, some details on here. So this is kind of what the entity name will look like. And this is a legal entity that we're planning on creating here this next week. And this page, as you can see, has very few details. And we're really wanting to have it be as similar as possible to this, where instead of just seeing the details for this Quad Co-op, they're seeing the specific details. Because the opportunity here is for all of these tokens to be potentially owned by different people. And the more that the tokens get distributed, and it depends. Like the car cooperative, again, that's a simpler dynamic. And that's a shorter life cycle as far as the ownership of that. So moving on down our agenda, does anybody have any questions or thoughts before we keep on going?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Amy.
So you're saying that you wanted to use the logo that you made and we're not open to looking at other logo?
Not at all. I was just relaying some of my thoughts why that I use the emojis, because the opportunity, and I'll talk even more about the emojis between now and our working group next week, because I like to have,
Jason,
go ahead, Amy.
Those emojis, you can still use those emojis even though our logo is different. That shouldn't stop you from putting it as a headliner in any of the items that you are, because those emojis speaks for themselves already.
I agree, and I'm open to whatever. And at the end of the day, it's this isn't something that I want to spend just too much time on. Having something like I said, like right now for Web3 Freedom Club, like right now we've got nothing, and I already mentioned not having too much desire to spend, but having something that looks consistent, because like one of the other things too is wanting to start creating some other social media accounts. We talked a little bit about using a tool like Hootsuite, and that's one of the things that we'll talk a lot about tools, because that's the way that I think that you really get effective scale is through the utilization of tools. But yeah, absolutely open to seeing some additional ideas on this. Definitely don't want, like I said, graphic design is not my forte. The only tool that I use for doing the stuff that I do for creating the images that I do is Snagit, which is a screen capture utility. And it's not really a graphic. I've tried GIMP and Photoshop, and it has too much complexity that doesn't really, and it's something that I just go back to Snagit because it's easy and it does what I need. And for more complicated stuff, there's people that are a lot better at the graphic design stuff than me. So this is something that is, we had a great conversation, and I'm going to keep on with the agenda here. Identify process flows that we need to create. So one of the things that when you think about what is a business, at the end of the day, a business is basically a compilation of processes that people can do to accomplish whatever the goals are of that business. Like McDonald's, that is a multi-billion-dollar global conglomerate, is categorically operated by teenagers or elderly people most of the time. And that's one of the things that McDonald's has created a great business process for. And this won't be the only time that I make reference to McDonald's, because one of the things that is a component of our business model is the bifurcation of building improvements and the land. And that's one of the things that we're exciting to create some process documentation surrounding. So one of the things that we were talking about doing is to have a breakout conversation. And this is one of the things for people that are interested. And the tool that we're looking at using is Mermaid, and I'm actually going to bring this open in another tab. So Amazon, and it probably be on my Amazon history. Switch to this tab, so you even have this tab open in another window. So I'm going to bring this open here. This is a book that I have ordered Kindle for, and am planning on ordering the hard copy for right here. And for anybody that's interested in process documentation or documenting it or talking about the processes, we're going to have a breakout conversation so that we can start getting some ideas and shortlisting some processes. Like one of the processes, and to bring it back to like what we're talking about here, one of the things that I'm thinking of is documenting the process for creating this micro cooperative. And the one that I'm going to focus the most on is the one for the Tesla car co-op. When think about having some scale, my expectation, because when you think about like what is a minimum viable quad co-op? At the end of the day, items 2, 3, and 4 here, that's an evolution of the model. But when you think about a minimum viable quad co-op, it's literally one person and one electric vehicle. And ideally, you really don't start seeing some efficiencies until you have 2 people driving that one electric vehicle. But when you think about it, the minimum viable cooperative would be one person, because like the minimum viable cooperative that I'm creating, where I'm going to commit to funding the cooperative myself via yonks.eth for this Tesla car co-op. So we're expecting the quantity of Tesla car co-ops in this model to be the highest quantity of micro cooperatives. And just looking at a funding aspect too, you can see why. And then when you think about like funding, it's a lot easier for lending institutions to think about a collateralized debt, where if something messes up, where the person defaults on their agreement to the payment terms, then that car could be potentially sold, maybe even for a profit from what they still owed. Now, that's not a business that I want to get into or have any experience with, but it is like, that's one of the reasons that car loans, there's so many opportunities for car loans here in the United States. And from a chunk of money that we're seeking to capitalize for filling out this model, this is also the smallest bucket, this 75 grand. Over here, we're looking for 450 here, 200 here, 100 here, 125 here. And this is one of the things that like visualizing in a tool, like, and I'm just thinking out loud, but I'll probably create a little call out right now that says, hey, we're currently seeking a DeFi protocol partner to get this capitalized. Here's how you can reach out to me. Because like this site that we're looking at is publicly available on the internet. And this is one of the things that I'm wanting to do, is create more collateral here in the near term so that I can start these conversations with getting these micro cooperatives in our proof of concept capitalized. Because and just to put context for Hero X, like the people that are reviewing this, when they're thinking about saying, is this project viable? So quad co-op, solar EV for gig workers. I think the biggest question are they asking is, if I award prize money to this project, how likely will this project become a real dynamic, and what impact will it have for proliferation of solar? And we're not only looking to solve the problem with solar EV energy sustainability with this model, through this Tesla House Cooperative, we're also looking to provide a solution for equitable, affordable housing. So we're not solving one, but 2 big problems with this quad co-op model. But anyway, the better that we can get at communicating and simplifying what we're looking to create here, and packaging that in a manner that people can understand it and say, man, I could really see that working. Yeah, there's a need for that. That's when we'll know that we have created the right collateral for our project submission. So I'm going to create a Let Us Meet. I've already created one Let Us Meet here on this working group today. So I'm not going to take time to do this. And I know that Sam is interested in the process documentation workflow. If anybody else is, I'll throw that in the Let Us Meet, because again, it's a process conversation. It's going to be more heavily geared to utilizing Mermaid within executing or fulfilling that said objective of process documentation. So this isn't something that I'm prepared, so I'm going to move this to carryover. So one of the things that we have an immediate need for is setting up snapshot.org for DAO governance. So I'm going to open up, and this is vote.ret.team. This is the snapshot governance that we had for Retoken, the real estate DAO, which we're going to be rebooting to P-Token DAO during our Hero X project here. So this is the goal here is we want to set up vote.web3freedom.club. And I'm going to go ahead and bring open because I did an official amendment to the Articles of Organization. And the reason I wanted to bring that up on screen is wanting to show our tri-token governance model. So let me open up the Google Drive where I've got that here. So when I say tri-token, that's basically 3 tokens. We're going to be rewarding ERC20 tokens, our proof of contribution, aka social tokens for the contributors of the Hero X project. So let me bring this open here and make this bigger for everybody. View, show outline. Okay, so limited liability company, articles, amendment to articles of organization. So this is what we amended, and I think that this is about as big as that I can make it here. So Article 6 is amended as follows. Web3 Freedom Club DAO LLC is an algorithmically managed, decentralized, autonomous organization. The notice of restrictions on duties and transfers appear in the operating agreement. So this is something that we need to fix because like right now, we technically do not have an operating agreement. I was planning on mostly just copying and pasting what we utilized for Retoken DAO. And then this other thing here too, Web3 Freedom Club DAO LLC uses a tri-token DAO governance model viewable at vote.web3freedom.club. So like right now, we don't have anything set up in Snapshot. We do have our DAO portal on Aragon, and that's right here, DAO portal built with Aragon app. And since I'm talking about it, let me just go here real quick. So here's our DAO portal. We could actually create proposals here. And I'm pretty sure that when we create a proposal here that it's using the Aragon blockchain. I'm not going to go into details. I don't know that much about Aragon. I do know that they have the most composable DAO framework on there, and launching this token was very easy. And we're actually going to go through here momentarily and create our social token for P-token DAO, property token DAO. And the problem with Aragon, this governance framework, is that it only allows governance using one token. And we're wanting to use 3 tokens. And going back to what those 3 tokens are, so we've got the equity token, aka social tokens, proof of contribution tokens, and that's represented via the social token. That was the smart contract that we created using Aragon. Proof of membership. We haven't talked that much about what our membership is going to look like here at Web3 Freedom Club. And I don't know if that's something that we're going to spend too much time within the Hero X working groups, because it's really, I feel, outside of the scope of the Hero X project. But it is one of the things that, like I said, wanting to get great at utilizing Unlock Protocol, and it was created using Unlock Protocol. So we are planning on the people that actively participate. And this is one of the things that we may do as a fun way of using this social token. And this is one of the things that we did for Retoken, was we actually created our membership NFT that people could actually buy with their proof of contribution. So that's something that thinking about. We haven't distributed any of our proof of membership NFTs yet. This is one of the things that really wanting to build using our WordPress at web3freedom.club. And that's one of the things that hoping to have that done here in the next week or two. And again, I don't know how much we're going to really go into that during our working groups conversation here. This is one that we created last week, was our Board of Stewards NFT. And I'm actually going to open that because I actually airdropped that to myself, Amy, and Tyler. And I think that this is it here. So no, this is actually the one for the DAO right here that I was talking about. Yeah, right there, 76 Delta Charlie. So let me go back here to the locks. So this is, I'm right now, just so that everybody knows, I'm on the hot wallet for Web3 Freedom Club .eth. And I'm actually going to switch, I'm not going to switch right now to Matic, but this is where I was talking about wanting to do another lock for our working group, for our team. I mean, we're here. This is already looking at the time. We've already been on this working group an hour and a half today. And this is one of the fun ways that I want to reward our teammates. And this is another opportunity for people like yourself, Double D, to do a logo. Neither one of these things, and these aren't ones that I'm interested in creating a design for, but this will be a fun one for us, the team contributors for our quad co-op Hero X's, that we can create an NFT. We'll talk more about what some ideas that I have around an upgradable NFT here for this one. This is one that I'm really excited about. This is one that I would really like to see people having hundreds or thousands of these. And this is one that we're also creating, and we're planning to have it be $47 a year after season one. Not going to go into detail, but what I want to do right now, let's create our quad co-op lock for our contributors. And this is one that I'm going to airdrop to everybody that's here today, as because everybody that's here today was here last week too. So thank you everybody for showing up. These types of events are a lot more fun when people such as yourselves, and it's not just me and Tyler and Amy on the working groups. And I absolutely love Amy and Tyler's contributions that they've made over the years that we've been building DAOs together. So let's create this lock here for our project. One of the reasons that I love Unlock Protocol is it's the most composable platform for NFT-based memberships. And this is one of the things that I'm going to utilize a lot within what we're building, because I love the ease of doing this. So let's see, organize an event, certify, and show the expertise on chain. So let's do this one. This one most identifies, and I don't know what the workflow difference makes here. I'm going to just create this. Let me create my own membership contract, because I'm not sure what that. So we're going to make it on Polygon, and the lock that we're going to do is, let's see. Let me, I think I've got some copy and paste stuff from our working group here that I actually wanted to use. So quad co-op, I'm going to do this right here. So here's some more emoji usage. I really like the house and the lightning bolt to. And I will, between now and our next working group, I'm personally going to update my Twitter. I'm probably going to still use the 3 just to simplify Triple Win Foundation. And I might even put a circle. Anyway, I'm going to have some fun with that. But let me get this for our quad co-op for our unlock here. And this is too many windows. Okay, lock name. I think we can change this later. Quad co-op, solar, EV, quad co-op, Hero X team. (2023) Q3. That's simple enough. Membership duration, unlimited number of memberships for sale, not for sale, free, next, So this has some really cool framework. They even have the capability to incorporate Stripe for payment processing on the back end. And this is something that we may look at utilizing a lot more. Like I said, we're absolutely using Unlock Protocol for a lot of different stuff. And this is our fun team NFT for us. So this is one that, and one of the cool things from what I understand about Unlock Protocol is that you can actually change the metadata. And like what a lot of people don't realize, that NFTs aren't actually set in stone. The ability to change the metadata, and I'm not going to even unpack that right now, but that'll be, so let's see. Oh, I need to hit these. Unlimited, free. Okay. So create a lock. This looks good to me. Close this out. I shouldn't have probably closed that because I might want to go back to that later. I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I am a screenshot junkie. Looks good to me. Oh, here's the confirmation that I got to do here. And I think my computer's starting to hate me because I've got too many browser windows open. So request waiting to be acknowledged. This is one of two. Confirm. Deploying lock. Lock has successfully been deployed. So I'm going to airdrop everybody that's on the call here today their NFT. You'll receive an email. It'll get dropped into your wallet automatically. We don't have an image for representing this, and this is where I'll create another task. And for people such as Double D, and it looks like he's dropped off right now, but we'll have a task where, because I personally don't even want to like, and I might throw something in there just for fun because, oh, and Double D is back, so let me get Double D back in here. So let me get a screenshot of this here too. So this is Double D, an opportunity to create our team NFT. And this is, again, also something that's not set in stone. And this is where, because one of the thoughts, and I'm going to go off on this tangent a little bit, because one of the things, and this is me just being a forward thinker, like imagine like 5 years from now, like we've been contributing to Web3 Freedom Club DAO, and I might be participating in multiple things. To have like a flip side where like a front and a back, or like and I don't know if anybody's seen some of the animated images, but the opportunity for us to upgrade our membership NFT, because this is one like, and this one that we just created here for our Hero X team, obviously isn't a membership NFT. This is,
Hey, hold
go
on,
ahead, Tyler.
Hey, Double D, we saw that you had to drop off and come back. Jason's creating a bounty for designing the artwork of the NFT. If you want to do that, we'll make that a token prize. If you don't, we'll figure out something else. So just let us know.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get you the link to that bounty as well. So one of the use cases specifically for this NFT is DWork, where we do our task management, has a lot of token gating capabilities. Because one of the things that I would really like to see is people creating their own tasks. They're like, hey, I want to work on this. And this is an opportunity where, and then this is something that we can like, reward some tokens. And that's the kind of initiative that we're really aspiring, and the autonomy that we're aspiring to have with this project. And you'll see a lot of that being done for myself. And this is one of the things that I'm going to get better at, is creating some tasks for various things that are being done. But I'm also very aware that we're operating on a deadline where we have about 5 weeks to get our project finalized, and there's a huge amount of money. Like I think 50 grand of prize money is available. And just to reiterate with everybody, when we win the prize for Hero X here, that's funds that are going into the DAO that the DAO will utilize for furthering the mission of launching Quad Co-op, because our goal is to really hopefully utilize the capital that to finalize our security token offering, shore up anything from a cost standpoint regarding intellectual property that we deem necessary, like paying for the patent process. We were all on a conversation with a patent attorney, and I absolutely love that conversation. One of the other things too, since we're talking about some visualization, one of the things that we're wanting to get a trademark for is P token. And this is one of the things that I mentioned, had it as an agenda for our patent conversation with our intellectual property attorney. And let me just open up the USPTO tests, and that's the whatever acronym for test, that's their trademark engine search or whatever. So this is one that is an opportunity, and it needs to be super, super basic. And I'm going to find an example that I just happened to come across for the test search trademark database. So this is one that I'm wanting to prioritize. P token is going to be a cornerstone aspect of the tokenization of all the things, primarily income producing assets. So search our trademark database, and this isn't the most user-friendly interface. That doesn't look like that it's been updated since who knows when, early 2000s, but it is functional. So we're going to just do a basic word mark search because we want something basic. So this is where we're going to do a search for P token. And if it's not obvious, P is for property token, and submit query. No test records were found. This is the thing that excites me about leaning into P token, is the ability to create a trademark for that. So we're going to do another search, and this is for the energy company. Submit query. And I was fairly surprised to see, and there's quite a bit of stuff, but I was fairly surprised that the energy company is a fairly recent trademark. And let me make this bigger here. So this is basically just to say, hey, we're the energy company. And when I say fairly recently, let's see, first use 2020, first used in commerce 2020, 12/15. So literally like the energy company. I was expecting somebody to have like the energy company for, and you can see the filing date here. So let me zoom in so that we can see. So like it's basically the energy company with two squares. And they basically just wanted to say, hey, we're the energy company, and here's our trademark. So like P token could literally be a circle with the word P token. I kind of like a smaller case P with an uppercase T for token, just to visually represent the different aspect. So this is something that I would really like us to see, because a trademark's pretty affordable, right, Tyler? What is it, like $300 to $900 or something?
For the cost of the trademark?
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, I want to say it's $600 for the initial filing, and then it's more if you get an attorney involved. It's more if there's research and whatever. But I think 600 is the start.
So I would really like something super simple. This is something else that we'll create a bounty for, but that was one of the things that wanted to talk about, because I would really like to get that process started so that we could say, hey, P token is a trademark that we own, and we're staking our claim here on that. And these are just kind of the little things that I think will add a lot of validity, whether it's a submission element of our project here for Hero X, or a component in what we're building for our quad co-op security token offering. Just having more intellectual property where it's like, hey, this is something that we're committed to doing on a long-term basis. Here's why we need to have the prize money so that we can further pursue this mission at hand. So anyway, I got off on a sidetrack regarding the snapshot there. So that's something that I'll work with. I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and I'm going to come back to our agenda, close out some of these windows, and successfully deployed. I can't remember if I got a screenshot of that. I think that I did. And part of the reason that I'm looking forward to this NFT for our team is the opportunity of utilizing token gating. That's one of the big value propositions. And the more that we explore in a fun way that like this NFT won't be a component in our normal DAO governance as far as for proposals. We may incorporate, since we haven't distributed any tokens, we need to have some technical mechanism for voting on the first proposal. And I would absolutely love all of the project participants here to be able to vote on our very first proposal, although it's going to be kind of circular because we're basically going to be creating a proposal and then voting on a proposal where we're going to be rewarding ourselves. But that's kind of the chicken or the egg dynamic that you have when you haven't distributed any tokens for a DAO. And it doesn't get much more of a fair launch than this because we've not distributed. The only tokens that we've distributed are the 3 NFTs for the board of stewards. And that's because as project co-founders, again, and that was a thought to utilize the board of stewards NFT. Why did I airdrop that instead of this quad co-op NFT that we created here? But like I said, be expecting that. I'll send a ping in our LinkedIn chat whenever, and you'll see the email too, because you'll also get an email in your inbox where it's got some cool links. And that way you can just have some additional exposure. And that's more for Sam and Double D. I don't know if Sam or Double D, if either of you, real quick, do you, Sam or Double D, do you, either of you have any experience with Unlocked Protocol yourselves?
No, this is my first time hearing about them. This is my first time.
Awesome,
No,
awesome.
no.
Well, and just a side note, like one of the tools that we're looking at using is called Pinata. Pinata is, and it'd probably be Pinata. Pinata.cloud, and this is one of the tools that we've got in the tools database in Notion. But as you can see here, IPFS for everyone. Pinata makes it easy to build apps and share files using IPFS. So IPFS is an integrated Planet file system that is, and you can see here, more than 300,000 businesses trust Pinata. This is really where I'm wanting us to have a mechanism for our NFTs on the back end and making it easier, like important documents. Like we've got a signed letter of intent from my father, who is the property owner for the building here, Tesla House Co-op. And that was one of the fun document things that we did back in December. And we used ETH so that document is already on IPFS. And the reason that I was wanting to talk about this is that this was one of the agenda items that I had here. Can an IPFS file be embedded within Notion? And like I had this, thoughts are to be intentional about uploading important docs into IPFS and then making them visibly here in Notion. So this is one of the things that I'll do a little bit more research as far as the capabilities. Pinata is really the main tool, and I'll probably go in and look as far as the pricing. And this is one of the things that we'll probably look at onboarding through Triple Win Foundation. One of the things that we're doing with Triple Win Foundation is a lot of the tools that are supporting this ecosystem. We're really wanting the tools to be provided by Triple Win Foundation and roll up there, and then create synergy with what we're doing through tokenomics. And that'll become more apparent when we really start documenting, and not only document it, but really creating, because that's the opportunity that exists here, is that this is all very formational. Like we're not operating yet. We don't have a co-op protocol created yet for managing this quad cooperative model. But IPFS is one of the key elements. Like from a best practices standpoint, an NFT should exist within IPFS and then referenced within the metadata, the smart contract, like here on Unlock protocol. And that's one of the things that is fabulous about Unlock, is that it allows you to update the metadata for the smart contract via this amazing dashboard that they've created here via the app, the DApp. This is Unlock Protocol's DApp here on their dashboard. So anyway, we'll be talking more about that. We'll be talking more about Snapshot. The time is running out here to actually create the token for P-Token DAO. I'll probably carry that over to our next office hours working group. And I think I already created the Let Us Meet for that. But so we went through a lot of stuff today. And one of the reasons that we love this live stream format is the opportunity for reviewing that in a playback manner, and then everything else. So one of the things that we would like to do once we're a little further along is actually start airdropping the token rewards for participating. And this is one of the things too that we would like to get better at, along with a lot of stuff. So that being said, we've got a pretty full week. The biggest thing that I've got as far as getting done is to, not the biggest thing, but I'm wanting to create the Let Us Meet for this process documentation breakout conversation around Mermaid, and just process documentation for what we're building here. So I'll send you a DM, Sam, on that. And like I said, when I get the Let Us Meet created, or I'll just send it to the entire group. And until things change, I'm liking using LinkedIn over something else. I'm still at a quandary on whether I want to take any time to clean up our retokened out Discord server, but not prioritizing that. So that being said, is there anything that we need? This is where we have the time for ensuring that the decisions and next actions have been captured. How's everybody feeling about this working group format? This is a format that we liked a lot on the previous Solar Prize, but I'm going to turn that over to Sam and Double D. How are you liking this working group format?
Yeah, it's interesting. Just that the time zone difference is the issue for my own head.
Got it. Well, and that's one of the things that we're open for creating, and it may be beneficial to do another Let Us Meet prior to finalizing our next working group. And that's always a challenge, working in a decentralized teams environment with global participators. And that's one of the reasons that we love using Let Us Meet. Let me actually just go through, for the sake of doing that, because I was actually, so let's see. Yeah, so this is the one that I created the Let Us Meet for. So this is the Let Us, go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, Jason, for the next one, just, I would say just make it a 24-hour availability, and then people can just schedule whatever works for them, and maybe some weird time will work for all of us that we weren't thinking about. People can block it off if they don't want it, obviously, but I mean, that would give us a good idea of when everybody's actually available?
And I think that there may be some challenge where we're not seeing the availability. And that's one of the things that we just wanted to do real quick here, because there's two buttons, and I don't know if people have actually created a profile. It basically makes it easier for Let Us Meet to see your Google Calendar availability. And then it also does some cool stuff too. Like these are ones that I've created historically. So that's another way that they, through their dashboard, make it easy to have a profile. So I would recommend people to have a profile. We're likely going to continue using Let Us Meet quite a bit. I'm really hoping to amplify visibility for new teammates to participate, which is one of the reasons that I created the cal.com workflow for potential contributors to grab a time slot. But anyway, let me go ahead and add my own availability. So there's two buttons that add functionality. The schedule button is really designed for the host that created the event. Now, if you're in a decentralized team, like that's one of the things that could happen where anybody can schedule it, but that's kind of what cements it. So that's really like, for now, unless you're planning on hosting the event, leave the schedule button to the event host. I'm going to go ahead and add availability for myself. So with me right now, I don't have any conflicts during this time frame, and that's one of the reasons that wanting to do the office hours during this time frame. And this is put more during US office hours. So for me, adding my availability here on the desktop, it's super easy. I just hold my mouse and grab all of those because I don't have any conflicts. Like if I had a conflict, it would show up here and then it would make it easier for me to so save, and then my availability is added. And I don't know if Tyler or you, Amy, want to add your availability here real quick. Because like right now, one of the cool things that happens with Let Us Meet is whenever you mouse over somebody's name, you can see their availability, and then it starts showing some different heat maps. And here's the Let Us Meet that I'm talking about right now in the Zoom chat, if anybody else wants to add their availability. So this is something that I will finalize here. I'll let this Let Us Meet be open between now and Monday. We've got our Web3 demo with Utopia Labs, the Web3 accounting that myself, Tyler, and Amy are going to participate in. And again, if anybody wants an invitation to that, send me a DM and I'll get you added to the calendar invite for Utopia Labs. Utopia Labs is increasingly likely one of the Web3 accounting tools that we will utilize. It's one that we shortlisted for looking at before. It probably won't be the only one that we look at, but again, this is a decision that we need to make fairly quickly and fairly fast. It's not necessarily a permanent decision because no technology is permanent, but the more that we don't spend time making decisions as far as, because that's just one of a long list of decisions that we need to make to put some tools in place for what we're building. But let me refresh this and see if anybody else added their availability here, and I'm the only one. So we'll finalize this based upon people's availability. And what I heard is that we should do another Let Us Meet. I'll create the Let Us Meet for working group number 4 for next weekend. And when I say next weekend, since we're doing another Let Us Meet, I will put it probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because that's kind of what I operate as my weekend, and then Monday to Thursday are weekdays in my world. So anyway, any other thoughts, decisions, next actions before we bring today's working group to a close?
Thanks, babe, for all the work that you have been putting in on this project. And thanks, Amy, for all the research, and Double D for the great design. Super excited about what we're doing. I am working on getting us some letters of support, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. If any of you know any community leaders, business people, politicians, anybody that might be willing to write us a letter or an electronic letter that we can attach to our application, that would all be super helpful.
Yeah, and on that note too, this is just another reminder. We've got this team calendar, and the way that we're building our, and let me actually just go here because this is a better view. So this is our link tree. Web3 Freedom Club redirects to this page right now, and Notion. This is our official project page here in. Oh, this is actually not the one for our Hero X. That's the one. So this is our official Hero X project page. And this is an opportunity here for people in the team directory functionality. So this is something that I'll likely create a bounty for, because I would really like to see people's stuff here. Everybody has a guest account on Notion. And if this is something that you need some help with, like that's kind of what our office hours are for as well. But go to the team directory. You should be able, like when you're in Notion, I prefer using the Notion app. This is the website. I think that the app, whether on mobile or on my desktop, provides a superior experience for contributing to the content. But this is an opportunity where people, our team, can add themselves. So that besides the official project page, which I showed everybody here, this is how you'll be officially on the team. And then our own internal page, like when somebody goes to our project page on Notion, if they happen to come across it, this is where, and that's one of the things that we'll use that functionality quite a bit throughout. And this is one of the things like Key People. This is basically just a backlink to my team directory page in Notion. And this is one of the things that we can improve upon and enhance over time as we're working on building some centralized and decentralized identities and bridging tools like Notion with what we're building with WordPress, which hasn't even been a conversation. But like Roll, one of the things that I've been having fun with, like Tyler just registered for us for EXP Global, and thank you for doing that, babe. I know that wasn't necessarily something that was on your radar. I think it's going to be extremely valuable, and that's part of the reason that we bumped up the submission time frame to September 19th is the deadline that we're wanting to finalize all of our team's submission here for Hero X, even though the submission deadline is the 27th of September, is because we're planning a family vacation before we go to Las Vegas for the EXP Global. And kudos to you, Tyler, for all that you've done as far as getting your real estate license, and not only in one state, but now 2 states. And that is something that I'm sure will pay off dividends in time coming. So thanks for all that you do for running the stuff behind the scenes. I know that a lot of stuff you're doing isn't necessarily desirable. That's one of my goals with this Utopia Labs, is to automate a lot of the accounting stuff, so that instead of it being manually done, it just happens automatically. Because this isn't, a lot of people aren't great at bookkeeping or accounting, which is one of the reasons that a lot of people pay, you know, $10 to $30 a month for a solution like QuickBooks or Xero, and it'll be interesting to see what the pricing looks like on Utopia Labs. And that's one of the things that's always a consideration when looking at deploying tools, is to deploy a tool affordably. And I don't know if there's anybody here that's on our team that has any experience with mail servers. And this is something that I kind of go back and forth. And this is one of the things that was wanting to do here via this agenda item, was create a subdomain. On our office hours earlier this week, we actually registered quadcoop.x via Unstoppable Domains. One of the reasons that we did that is that it's looking like it will be a lot easier for us to build with an unstoppable domain on Polygon than it will for us to build using an ENS domain, a .eth, on Ethereum mainnet. But that's something that we'll have some more conversations. Obviously, didn't get to this today. That's one of the reasons that we have our office hours and doing a lot of stuff in between our live events as well. But any final thoughts before we bring today? We're already 12 minutes past the hour, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time, because I know that it's now 10 o'clock. What time is it where you're at, Double D?
10, 12, yeah.
10. So you're on the same time zone as Sam there. So plus
Are you
7.
guys both Are you guys both in Legos?
What you say?
Are you guys both in Legos?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I saw something about creating KPI option. I don't really get Yonks on the group chats. I think, let me check. Do you get my question?
I heard something about KPI options, and I'm not sure what you're referring to specifically. Is that sounded familiar to you, Tyler?
Oh, not okay. KPIs. We need to create KPIs.
Brooke was screaming. I didn't hear the question.
So a KPI is an acronym for key performance indicator. So like, for example, in Tyler, who does most of the day-to-day stuff with our Airbnb, when a guest stays at Tesla House Co-op here where Tyler and I live, because we also rent out rooms via Airbnb, is a key performance indicator for how Tyler, or for how that we're doing as a host, is when guests leave a review. So the goal is to get a 5-star review. And in Airbnb's world, anything less than a 5-star can have negative consequences for your listing get views. So like a KPI, a key performance indicator, is just a metric that businesses should be intentional about measuring. So like for example, when we're looking at onboarding new people to Web3 Freedom Club. Now, we're not to the point where we're really wanting to onboard people to Web3 Freedom Club, but like one of the strategies that we're going to use is a hybrid event and or a webinar strategy. So we're all familiar with webinars. So imagine participating in a webinar and we have 10 people that participate in a webinar. Well, the goal most of the time with a webinar is to have a desired objective. Like in the case of having a onboard to Web3 Freedom Club DAO, the goal at the end of that webinar would be like, if 10 people joined, it would be a home run if all 10 people opened up their wallet, pulled out their credit card and said, hey, I want to pay to join Web3 Freedom Club DAO. Now we know that that's not realistic. So KPI would be, okay, well, in this webinar, 2 people joined our webinar. And then in this next webinar, 3 people joined. So that, looking at what that looks like, because the goal is to improve the numbers. So like you really can only improve upon what you measure. And a KPI is a key performance indicator that's used by businesses for measuring desirable objectives. Like we talked about governance as a DAO. One of the challenges with DAOs is getting token holders to vote, to actively participate. And like, let me see here, because I think I actually hold, and let me go to Snapshot. So snapshot.org and Unlock Protocol, we've talked about, and I can't remember if Unlock Protocol, because I don't actively vote, even though I do have some tokens in my wallet. So this is the main dashboard for Snapshot. Like this is interesting to me. Stargate DAO has 685,000 members. That's a lot. So I'm kind of interested to see what they have. So I was wanting to do a search for Unlock Protocol. Okay, so Unlock Protocol. So Unlock Protocol currently has 420 members. So a key performance of indicator here, like this is one that they had that closed. So June retroactive funding. So this vote that they did ended 4 weeks ago, and they had only 11 people vote. So like one of their goals is to increase people that vote in the governance. That's one of Julian's goals. He's one of the co-founders of Unlock Protocol, to increase the participation. And that's a KPI. So the better that we get as far as creating some KPIs around worthwhile things, the better off that we'll be. And until you start measuring something, like one of the things that I didn't talk about today, and this is one of the things that you all will be receiving, is the opportunity of contributing to what we're going to call the Web3 Freedom Quiz. So this is one of the things that like we would like people to just go through, just from a data standpoint. Like a question that I would like to ask is, are you an investor? Because I believe that a lot of people don't view themselves as an investor. Because even though that people might be actively investing, or they have a retirement account or whatever, they might not be actively managing that money, and they might not view themselves as an investor. I see that as an opportunity to increase the education level for people surrounding the topic of investing. Like investing in the US stock markets is one of the great opportunities. And there's people on a global basis that know substantially more about investing in the US stock markets than even a lot of US citizens know about investing in our own equity markets here in the US. That's another topic for another day, but unpacked a lot of that as far as your question there surrounding KPIs, key performance indicators. There's a lot of stuff that you can find online. We'll be having more conversations about that. And it's not something that we'll probably talk too much about here during Hero X, because that would be in the scope creep category, because we really need to get a well-polished collateral for the submission where somebody's like, quad co-op, I could really see that working. And this is something that I want to put my vote behind and vote to move towards the next phase of because the Hero X, I don't know how long that the Solar Prize actually runs, but we're hoping to progress, and I don't know exactly what those timeframes look like. But besides us finalizing our submission here, September 19th, the next big thing from a roadmap standpoint is our security token offering for Quad Co-op. And those conversations will also start to happen more. They've not happened yet, but they will before this project is over, because we even had some conversations, and that was actually one of the letters of support that we got or received for our 2000 or round 5 that we did in 2021 for Solar Prize round 5 was a letter of support from Dealbox. And the CEO of Dealbox gave us a letter of support for Token Town and what we were looking to build there. And like I said, I'll send you all a link where you can take a look at that so that you can have a better idea, because this is the kinds of thing where some initiative that will add some additional details. It's not necessary, but having those again makes a more well-rounded project. That this is like, hey, these people are committed to what they're doing. So anyway, any other questions? I know that was a very long and winded answer to your KPI question there, Double D.
No, thanks.
All righty. Well, it's always a fun and a pleasure hosting our working group. We love this format. That's one of the reasons that we use it. And then it's one that we're looking to get better at. And this is an ongoing invitation to the universe and the world. If somebody also resonates with this live streaming format and are interested in helping us elevate the production quality, that's something that we're always open for new contributors on that topic specifically, because I would really like to see how good that we could make this live stream format. So anyway, you all have a great rest of your weekend. There's a lot of stuff. We're barely just getting started with our project, and we're really wanting to create a solid foundation with some of these tools like dwork and Notion, where you all can autonomously contribute to what we're building here. This isn't something that you really need to ask permission if you see an opportunity around something. And that's one of the tools with this NFT that we just minted today that I'm going to airdrop to all of you. That we'll continue to have some conversations how that we can use tools in this manner to create a well-rounded and polished submission for the Hero X American-Made Solar Prize project. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.